What is up, everybody? Turboverse here today, and we're gonna talk about Square Enix realizing that they cannot do it alone with just PlayStation and PS5 owners because PS5 owners don't buy exclusives. So, all the Sony fanboys like to say the Xbox gamers don't buy games. It seems that that's actually the case for PlayStation gamers. They were just projecting because Square Enix is now aggressively pursuing new multi-platform strategy after reports of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth underperforming on PlayStation. Profits are declining. Now, we've seen that from the get-go when they first released that for a spoken game. It was their first type of we're going to make this exclusive only on PlayStation for the PS5 generation. That game flopped. Then they released Final Fantasy 16, which people were saying, hey, this is an actual mainline Final Fantasy game. People are gonna buy this. That game did worse than 15. It didn't do the same as well. It underperformed as well. Then they released 7 Rebirth, this has to do with the most popular Final Fantasy character, Cloud, and his group of people with that group of characters, which is the most mainline Final Fantasy game ever. And that game still flopped. So they said, hey, we got to put ourselves on other platforms, which they should have did from the get-go. I don't understand why you release 15 on Xbox. You release the Crisis Core, what was that, the Crisis Core game, the remake, or the PSP game on Xbox, but you didn't put the other on Xbox, which didn't make any sense. So they're finally learning that, hey, they need to put the stuff on other platforms. PlayStation isn't enough. So it was common sense. Anybody with a brain knew they should have did that. Only Sony fanboys were delusional, thinking that PlayStation people are gonna be enough to buy this game when they don't really buy too many exclusives like that. They buy multi-plats. But this says that Square Enix was aggressively pursuing a multi-platform strategy, including Nintendo platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PCs. Literally every platform is available at the moment. The multi-platform strategy is a part of a move to diversify earnings opportunities and aim to allow more customers to enjoy our titles in regards to major franchises and AAA titles, including catalog titles. I mean, it's kind of too little too late now. It's like I played 16. I haven't played 7 Rebirth yet, but it's like you're kind of late at this point in time. I have no reason to repurchase these games again on Xbox. But I guess going forward, we're going to see their games on Xbox or Nintendo and PC platforms. Square Enix's biggest releases in recent years have been console exclusive to PlayStation, include the likes of Final Fantasy Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16, and Forspoken with PC releases either alongside or in the pipeline. They had other games as well, which were kind of PC, which were PlayStation exclusive as well, but we're not going to count those because that's not the mainline stuff that people really care about. I think they did a Valkyrie game as well on PlayStation, which didn't do any numbers really. So there's some other PlayStation exclusive games which kind of flopped as well too, but that's not mentioned. While no specific games are identified here, it suggests that some of the company's biggest could have made their way to Xbox in the future, or perhaps the Switch 2. Then that sucks too, because if these games come to Xbox later, like Final Fantasy 16 comes to Xbox later and they don't sell, people are going to still push that narrative that nobody buys games on Xbox. I was like, no, why do you keep putting these old games on Xbox? You keep making these weird moves. So that's that two-edged sword with this whole, they do put the games on Xbox. People are going to say that people don't buy games. Well, it's like, no, people who want to play the games probably play them on PlayStation already. It's like, they should have did this from the get-go. I don't know how much money Sony was paying them, but it couldn't have been enough, obviously, because they're failing right now. So they should just put the stuff multi-platform to begin with. Like, them just relying on Sony was just stupid. But, Sony must have paid them really, really well, I guess. I don't know. Good on them. Everyone should be able to play those beautiful games regardless of the platform of choice. Finally, they break the contract with the devil. Calling Sony the devil right there. We're good to Switch 2 and Xbox. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, at least the Switch. At least on the Switch you play it on handheld. I don't know why they just. Man, Sony has a chokehold on the Japanese gaming industry. It just seems like it was like a really, and it backfired. It didn't help them out any. Seems that PlayStation exclusivity was a bad choice for Square Enix, and that including catalog titles being Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, Octopath Traveler 2, Star Ocean Second Story, Titans of Reborn, and maybe even Live Alive on Xbox. Okay. But why though? Square Enix games sold the most on PlayStation, and Final Fantasy has been mega successful as a PlayStation exclusive. Because people are not gonna buy PlayStation just to play these games. It's like some people have PlayStations, but they're not gonna buy a PlayStation and play some of these games. It's like they're just common sense. With some more platforms, it's gonna sell more to different audiences. It's not the 2000s anymore. Pursuing third-party time exclusivity deals doesn't work. It's always better to make money from more game sales and to make the same amount of money from exclusivity payout as you want to grow mindshare as much as possible. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it too, because when Final Fantasy 15 came on Xbox, it sold really well. So that also debunks that people don't buy games on Xbox here, because Final Fantasy 15, when that was on Xbox, it sold very well. It's just they were just dumbasses. They just didn't put the sequel on Xbox. They just took Sony money instead, which is backfired. Square shot themselves in the foot. I don't know how much about the rest of you know about Japanese culture, but honor and shame are huge parts of it. It's like it is in America, where you can become successful by being an asshole. If you screw someone over in Japan, you bring shame to yourself, and the only way to get rid of that shame is repentance. What that means is the Japanese public, after hearing about this, is not going to want to purchase Final Fantasy 13 for either system. He's going back all the way back to 13. Okay. I just want Dragon Quest 12 Final Fantasy on Xbox day one, and I'll buy it. Yeah, I think most people would. Like when they released that last Kingdom Hearts game on Xbox, I bought that game day one on Xbox because it's on Xbox. But it's like, it's just that simple. Release the stuff on Xbox day one and people will buy it. It's not that difficult. Or if you release it on PC day one or Nintendo Switch day one, the new Switch system, people will buy it on those systems. But if you do like this stupid, like release on PlayStation and release on other platforms like way later, then less people are going to buy it on those other systems, because it's like, why would you buy it at that point? You probably played on PlayStation already. So it's just like, hopefully they do better with this new initiative. It's like, it should have been common sense. After your other Final Fantasy 16 didn't do that well, you should have been putting stuff on other platforms. But hopefully they do well going forward at this point. That's all we can ask. Excellent. Square Enix was killing the brand, accepting those PlayStation exclusive deals. Yeah, it's just trash. It's just absolute trash deals right there. And then wondering why their games aren't selling like that. Once again, it is proven that multi-platform support is king. Yeah, they're a multi-platform studio. Why are they doing exclusivity deals with Sony? Like, Sony wanted to make them exclusive, they should have already just bought Square Enix. But it's like, they're not going to do that. So put the games on all platforms. It should have been common sense. I agree. Rebirth flopped. It definitely did. And that's crazy, because that's one of the main Final Fantasy games. That's a remake of one of the biggest Final Fantasy games in history, and it flopped. That's not a good look. Like, when people think of Final Fantasy, they think of Cloud and Sephiroth. So it's funny that the one with those characters, that's the one that flopped. So not a good look. But I'm going to include it right here. I'm glad Square Enix is changing their business model, putting it on platforms. So hopefully we see the next, whatever, Rebirth 3, whatever the Part 3 remake is going to be on Xbox day one. And the next, whatever the next big title is going to be on Xbox day one. That's all we care about, to be honest. And yeah, that's what they should have done from the get-go. So I'm going to include it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.